Welcome to this Monday's evening Sunset News. In this half hour, we bring you the latest news, stories from the community, economic indicators, tomorrow's weather and sports. I am Aina Raiza Kweo. In the news tonight, swarms of locusts have descended on the south of the country, pestering among other residents of Noordhoek and western communities in Keetmanshoop. While a swarm was directly responsible for an accident over the weekend when a driver of a minibus lost control of a vehicle after it slided on a locust on the road. Wesley Steenkamp, supervisor of the park, said that the municipality team have been spraying the affected areas since the first report of swarms were received. Now, according to Ben Haraseb, the deputy director of the Ministry of Agriculture, Land Reform in Karas, Hardap and Omaheke, said the only thing that will reduce the outbreak is an increase in manpower and if winter starts early. The Ministry of Agriculture is training farmers and assisting them with the pesticides in order for them to control the invasion on farms. Now, Haraseb said the best time to spray is either in the early mornings or late evenings while the locusts are sleeping. Nelson Ngaridhemo, the Chief Agricultural Scientific Officer of the Karas region, was busy spraying the swarms of the locusts on the Keetmanshoop and Mariental B1 road, moving towards the direction of the Tsetes on Sunday around 3:54 p.m. Let's have a look at this video.
They could notice like we are on the ground and they should very much reduce their speed.
Namibia Media Holdings, Monique Adams reporting to you from Keetmanshoop.
In our next story, a total of 198 medical graduates have not been placed at accredited facilities for their compulsory internship to be formally registered at the Health Professions Council of Namibia. This includes 104 medical interns, 86 pharmacist interns, 5 physiotherapy interns, and 3 dental interns. In addition, approximately 327 students in different health disciplines are expected to graduate from tertiary training institutions during the course of the year 2022 in Namibia and other countries and will need to undergo internship. The Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, earlier admitted that over the past 2 years, the number of medical graduates requiring internship grew beyond what the capacity of accredited health facilities is able to absorb. Moving right along, TransNamib says it is unfazed over the legal bid by Belgium entity Challenge Air to have it pay 161 million Namibian dollars for the lease of an aircraft by Air Namibia at the time of subsidiary of the rail operator. Following Air Namibia's liquidation, Challenge Air has now set its side on TransNamib to recover the money it is owed. At TransNamib, we are not going to entertain this at all because we were not part of this matter. We will defend if we need to defend it in the most appropriate way, said the CEO of TransNamib, Johnny Smith, in a recent interview on Evening Review. Challenge Air lawyer Sisa Namanja recently handed a letter of demand to TransNamib seeking a payment of 161 million Namibian dollars. This letter accordingly serves as demand of the payment of the total outstanding amount currently standing within 15 days of receipt of this matter of demand. Now, failure to pay your debt in accordance to the above section of the Companies Act will lead to proceeding with an application in the High Court to seek for TransNamib's liquidation. In our next story, Katima Mulilo Town Council, through a public-private partnership, plans to service between 8,000 and 10,000 plots in order to address the land and housing backlog at the far northeastern town. According to Katima Mulilo CEO Rafael Liswaniso, Council together with WLD Fulbright will service 350 hectares of land, which will equate between 8,000 and 10,000 plots. The targeted beneficiaries are low-income earners. With the project still in planning stage, Liswaniso said if all goes well, the servicing of the land situated near the Nam Power Station will commence in October and conclude by the end of February next year. We are planning to service 350 hectares of land, which will give us about 8,000 to 10,000 plots. The aim is to address the housing backlog of the town, which stands at 8,000. Now moving right along to our next story. According to the police report, the weekend brought a total of 4 murderers and one attempted murder. The first incident occurred on Friday in Vanaeda in Katutura when a 27-year-old man was stabbed. It is alleged that the deceased victim, Eliakim Velivali, died on the way to the hospital after being stabbed with an unknown object during the argument. In our next story, the Canadian gas and oil exploration company Recon Africa has issued an update explaining that the first 2 stratigraphic test wells drilled by Recon Africa and subsequent 2D seismic data acquired in the Kavango Basin in the northeastern Namibia have established a significant rift basin similar to other major petroleum provinces and rift basin, including onshore Africa and the areas of North Sea. This comes at a time where Oil Change International reports that between 2016 and June 2021, following the adoption of the Paris Climate Agreement, public and private financial institutions poured at least $132 billion in lending and underwriting into 964 gas, oil and coal projects in West, East, Central and Southern Africa. The vast majority of this finance comes from financial institutions based outside of Africa. In community news tonight, we focus on Special Olympic Namibians seeking for Namibia seeking Namibia's help to come on board to get a female soccer team to the US at the end of July. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sunset News, and here is Community Talk. Special Olympics Namibia has asked Namibians to come on board to get a female soccer team to the US at the end of July. However, as Jereen Hoff reports, the organization mission is to provide a year-round sports training and athletic competition to the variety of Olympic-type sports for children and adults with intellectual disabilities. Let's have a look.
The Special Olympics organization has a very specific and bold mission, and Special Olympics Namibia, or SON, is no different, says Emilia Nzuzu, National Executive Director of Special Olympics Namibia. She says that its mission is to provide year-round sports training and athletic competition in a variety of Olympic-type sports for children and adults with intellectual disabilities. She adds that sport truly is a great unifier, and the athletes that partake in the Special Olympics achieve greatness through their dedication, determination, and unstoppable attitude. The actual Special Olympics that take place are well known around the world, with the next major event taking place in Germany in 2023. However, this is not all that the Special Olympics is focused on, and certainly not the only thing that SON does for its athletes. Emilia says that as from 31 July to 6 August this year, Detroit in the USA hosts as many as 32 men's and women's football teams, nearly 600 athletes with and without intellectual disabilities from more than 30 nations. Namibia has been invited to participate, and the women's football team is eager to go and show off their skills, talent, dedication, and of course, to bring home a trophy, Emilia says. This event will embody the mission and vision of Special Olympics and will show the world what inclusion truly means. However, to be able to participate, Special Olympics Namibia and the female football team need a sponsorship. Emilia says that sports in Namibia always struggle with funding, which is not surprising, as there are so many areas in the country that need financial aid in some form or another. However, we have seen how sport unifies Namibia and how it has put us on the world map. Not just our amazing able-bodied athletes like Christine Mboma and our boxers, and who can forget our very own Frankie Fredericks. Emilia says that Namibia's Paralympic team's achievements made our nation proud, and Johanna Benton became a national hero for her achievements, and rightly so. The athletes with intellectual disabilities have the opportunity to participate in an event that will put them on an international stage. They have the possibility to shine a light on the challenges faced by people with intellectual disabilities. They will be able to show what they can do and go above and beyond expectations and be true to sporting heroes. Emilia says that Special Olympics athletes and the sportsmen and women that play football truly go above and beyond and receive little to no funding at all. While Lion Ministries and the GIZ have assisted SON, private sector sponsorship is essential. Emilia and the rest of the SON team urges sponsors to get on board and be part of this joyous sporting event to give athletes with intellectual disabilities a chance to shine on an international stage. For more info, contact Emilia at the information below.
In our story of the day, City of Windhoek is looking to sign a possible memorandum of understanding. We have more on this story after the break. Welcome back to Sunset News. Now, the City of Windhoek is looking at signing a possible memorandum of understanding with the United Nations Development Fund. Yolanda Nell has more.
The City of Windhoek Council is seeking approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Municipal Council of Windhoek and the United Nations Development Programme of Namibia. According to municipal documents, Windhoek, like any other city in the world, is affected by urban challenges such as rural urban migration resulting in population growth, unemployment, service delivery limitations, food and nutrition insecurity, increasing urban poverty, and other issues related to sustainable development and adverse impact of climate change. The Municipal Council of Windhoek has, as part of its transformational strategy of 2017 to 2022, has been engaging and networking with development partners and stakeholders to mobilize support and collaboration on key development projects. The Council engaged the United Nations Development Programme in discussions for possible support and partnership in areas of developmental needs in 2019. The discussions centered around digitalization and smart cities, energy solutions, urban agriculture, and social economic development projects. As a result, the City of Windhoek accepted a United Nations Development Programme grant funding towards its urban agricultural project. Following approval of the Windhoek Economic Recovery Initiative, the Economic Development Division approached the UNDP, Namibia's Living Lab project, which focuses on fusing issues central to climate change, environmental sustainability, and resilience. Discussions also focused on the concept of accelerator labs developed by the United Nations Development Programme, which aims to help alleviate grassroots solutions to respond rapidly and effectively to meet today's unprecedented pace of change. The overall objective of the Memorandum of Understanding is to enter into a long-term relationship that supports private and public sectors by facilitating the provision of innovative, customer-centric solutions. The Memorandum of Understanding also seeks to cement and formalize the cooperation and interaction between these two parties. The partnership also furthered to jointly work together, attaining to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, contribute to the achievement of Namibia's Vision 2030, national development plans, and indeed the Municipal Council of Windhoek's strategic plans and objectives. Areas of cooperation includes urban agriculture and other local social progression community projects, digitalization and inclusion, citizen-centered smart cities initiatives, economic and transformational development cooperation, solid waste and environmental management, alternative energy solutions, as well as capacity building, lessons and experience sharing on accelerating lab initiatives. The March Council meeting has been postponed with no new date yet announced, and it is uncertain if this understanding will be recommended.
The increase in the prices of fuel and food, coupled with expected rising interest rates, will put a strain on household budgets. More in economic news after the break.
Choose your flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in one bundle. It's new, it's one bill, and you can stay connected in more than one location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Welcome back to Sunset News. The increase in prices of fuel and food, coupled with expected rising interest rates, will put a strain on household budgets. Analysts have warned growth in private sector credit extension edged up to 2.8% at the end of February 2022 from a growth rate of 2.7% at the end of January 2022. Credit uptake by the private sector remains subdued, in line with the current economic state in the country, as well as lower borrowers' appetite for credit. Up next, let's have a look at economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is down against the US dollar and up to the euro, and the pound holding its ground next to the Chinese yuan. On the NSX, MTC stock stays up at 8 points, while Namibia Breweries Limited takes a 0.02%. The local index closed down 0.01%, while the overall index made a 0.72% surge. Looking at commodities, gold and zinc are up 0.2% and 1.88% respectively, while copper and Brent crude oil are down. After the break, we take a look at tomorrow's weather prediction. Stay with us. Happy Monday, and thank you very much for watching Sunset News tonight. Now let's have a look at tomorrow's weather prediction. Katima can expect some thunderstorm and a maximum of 32 degrees, while Gobabes is partly cloudy with a minimum of 9 degrees. Henties Bay, Walvis Bay and Swakopmund also share partly cloudy condition with a minimum of 14 degrees, with Adamsvlei remaining sunny with 25 degrees maximum temperature expected. Now, in international news slot, the U.S. says it repatriated a Guantanamo Bay detainee to Algeria. More on this development right after the break. Welcome back to Sunset News. Now, in our international news stories, the United States have repatriated to Algeria a man who was held at Guantanamo Bay for nearly 2 decades after being accused of comprising with Al-Qaeda, the Department of Defense said on Saturday. The department identified a man as Soufiane Bahoumi, a native of Algeria, and said his detention at the U.S. military base was no longer necessary. Bahoumi arrived at Guantanamo Bay in 2002, the year the base detention camp was set up following a U.S.-led invasion of Afghanistan in pursuit of Al-Qaeda network behind attacks that nearly killed 3,000 people in New York, Pentagon, and rural Pennsylvania on the 11th of September 2001. The camp has drawn worldwide condemnation for holding a large number of prisoners without charging them or holding trials. Its population peaked at about 800 inmates, then declined sharply during the 2009-2017 Obama administration. Currently, detainees remain 37 at the Guantanamo Bay, the Defense Department said on Saturday. After the break, we return with sport news. Welcome back to Sunset News. Now, in our sports stories, Namib Desert Diamonds has made the dreams of emerging long-distance runner David Dams come true by sponsoring all expenses relating to his first trip outside Namibia. David Dams' manager Berthold Karumendu has thanked Namdia for coming on board and committing over 50,000 Namibian dollars towards the 800-meter and 1,500-meter athletes trip to South Africa. Namibian Sun last week reported that the emerging athlete, who hails from Omaruru, was in need of financial assistance to compete at the several events in South Africa. Now, in our next story, the Ondangwa Town Council on Friday honored Namibia's 2 Paralympic championships, Ananias Shikongo and Johannes Nambala, by naming streets after them. The streets were revealed by the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utoni, who applauded the Town Council for taking such an initiative, saying it was indeed commendable. In our next story, FNB Unama Stadium opened their 2022 NRU Premier League Championship with a 37-25 home win against FNB Western Suburbs on Saturday. Additionally, on Saturday, Erens Narib won the Senior National Athletic Championship men's 200-meter competition at the Independence Stadium. After the break, we bring you highlights. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sunset News. Now, if you did not get a chance to catch up on our top stories tonight, here are some of the headlines. A total of 198 medical graduates have not been placed at accredited facilities for their compulsory internship to be formally registered at the Health Profession Council of Namibia. This includes 104 medical interns, 86 pharmacist interns, 5 physiotherapist interns, and 3 dental interns. The Katima Mulilo Town Council, through the public-private partnership, plans to service between 8,000 and 10,000 plots in order to address the land and housing backlog at the far northern eastern town. The targeted beneficiaries are the low-income earners. The increase in prices of fuel and food, coupled with expected rising interest rates, will put a strain on household budgets. Analysts have warned growth in private sector credit extension edged up to 2.8% at the end of February 2022 from the growth rate of 2.7% at the end of January 2022. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook or on all NMHS platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website OneUp2. Sunset screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 94 every weekend from 7:30 to 8 p.m. rather. I am Aina Raiza Koyo, and if you have missed out, we hope to see you tomorrow. Please never end your day without us.